Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Athaya Salsabila Rahma from A class, Philosophy of Education, Group 2. I would like to presentation about does education need philosophy? Doing philosophy. Philosophy itself is a contested concept. The point to the fact that the meaning is not agreed. The consequent disagreement can be rectified simply by appeal to the Oxford English dictionary, and the differences in meaning reflect wider and deeper disagreements, often of an ethical nature. On the other hand, two philosophers argue with other philosophers about the nature of philosophy. These very arguments are within a tradition of thinking and questioning. Philosophers, though disagreeing with previous generations of philosophers, argue for their point of view more often than not by pointing to where previous philosophers are seen to be wrong. Therefore, philosophers constantly ask, "What do you mean?" The concept used it can often be obscure and confusing, though we may well fail to recognize it. To attend to the different ways in which particular words are used, for their meaning lies in their use within a language. Wittgenstein, 1958. Educational philosophers have attended to how one justifies one activity to be more worthwhile than another. Obviously, not all concepts are all philosophical interest. Many controversies or disagreements, and it reflects deeper concerns with philosophers who has traditionally engaged. It might be classified as first, ethics. The studies which are concerned with the basis of our judgments that certain actions are right, wrong, and are the certain ways of life are more valuable than others. Second, philosophy of mind. The studies which explore what it means to have a mind, to think, to be conscious, and to act freely, and what the connection is between the mental world of thoughts, intentions, and feelings, and the physical world inhabited by our bodies. Third, epistemology. The studies which are concerned with what constitutes knowledge, its foundations, the truth conditions for any claim to knowledge, and the different kinds of knowledge. Fourth, social and political philosophy. The studies which are concerned with the nature of society, the appropriate relationship between the individual and the societies to which they belong, and the basis of authority and power within a society. Educational aims. Any educational any educational system is by definition concerned with the promotion of learning, but of the infinite range of things which could be learned. Only certain kinds are selected. Education should help all young people to realize their potential. People are not wisely upon hearing this, but a moment's philosophical reflection upon what we mean by potential should immediately show seeds of doubt. One might argue that is one reason for schools is to realize certain potentials and to do so through the introduction to the wisdom developed over generations, which the potentials are realized in the particular way. Educational thinking. It has to attend to the educational thinking. It has to attend to the underlying metaphors through which it comes to see the enterprise in the particular way. The Nuffield Review has been critical of the language drawn from management and business through between educational activities and etc. Cultures and community. The significance of culture in the aim of helping young people to realize the potentials which are to be worthwhile. But culture is itself a tricky concept. It is need to attend to the different ways in the word is used. As with education, it has both a descriptive and an evaluative use. The descriptively of youth culture, working class culture, or even gang culture. Culture in this descriptive sense would capture the background social influences upon how people think and find the value things. The evaluatively of the cultured person or of a cultural event. Culture in this sense embodies socially approved ways of thinking, appreciating, and valuing. The importance of this concept and its implication for education as a preparation for living in the community is emphasized by many educational thinkers and philosophers. Learning and teaching. Central to educate all young people must, by definition, be the effort to bring about or to enhance learning. And given the success in life requires constant learning, it is now a truism that the educational system should enable young people to learn how to learn, to acquire the learning skills. Learning. Learning is what the philosopher Gilbert Ryle called an achievement word. Its meaning points to certain standards which have been met, and those standards are internal to the subject matter which is being learned. Teaching. Teaching is the active intention to get someone to learn something, and therefore requires. For the first, an understanding of how much the learner already understands or can do, and for the second, an understanding of that which the teacher wants the learner to grasp. It requires a knowledge of the learner and the subject matter and the skill to link the two. Okay, thank you for your attention of my presentation about the educational